welcome you all to the General Assembly meeting of the Swiss Consortium for Digital Pathology. And it's really lovely to see so many of you here, also in the context of this first ever DACH symposium, which we hope to do also as a continuing thing. So what we have here to show you quickly is a little bit of what we did this year. Again, a little bit about the SDiPath guidelines, an update there for those who might have missed it this morning, and we'll go into a little bit more detail on some of these topics. The SDPI that you might have heard about, we'll give you 2 slides on what that is. A report from our auditor, so Mario is here to make sure that everything is in order with our finances. And we have one thing to vote on, and in fact, it would be more of an absence of vote for the new members to participate in this in the SDiPath, and shortly just the upcoming events. So this will not take us very long. So if we look back at what we've accomplished all together in 2021, we had 2 meetings of SDiPath that occurred in January and in June, and we were involved with quite a lot of different activities. One thing that Andrew organized together with Mario and with Andrew's student Cedric was this digital pathology tools workshop that took place in November. And then a few of us were also participating in Simone's school of digital pathology, which occurred in December. So this was organized at the Vet Suisse faculty here in Bern, and we had excellent speakers. Thomas Fuchs, who was also there, and this was linked to another symposium, the Hans Sigrist symposium, where Gary Nolan was also giving a talk. It was just really an excellent couple of days. So Simone, big congratulations to you and Sven for organizing this. We also published in the Journal of Clinical Pathology an update on the situation of digital pathology before and after COVID. This was initiated by Victor, who had this idea to try to understand how there was an impact of digital pathology during these times. So you can have a look at this paper that's out now. And we started our YouTube channel. So we're going to try to put a few things on there when we have the chance to do that. So about the guidelines. So you've heard about this, you've been informed along the way, and where are we right now? So we sort of split the writing of statements into 4 major working packages. And each working group leader is written here, but these leaders also put in or brought in other people who they thought would be helpful to come up with statements and to work on the group. So this is really a very big team effort. And in the end, what we're able to do now is we've put together all of the statements. It's quite a list because it has to be quite thorough. I mean, you've seen the other national guidelines probably from the others. So you see that it will be a pretty comprehensive set of things that we'd like to have in there. And at the moment, we are almost ready to send you the survey, which will be on a Google Doc. So it's like a Google survey that will happen. And this will be the first round of this Delphi process. And there you'll be asked to give in your agreement or disagreement of each statement. And if you'd like, you'd give a comment as well to each statement. And then we'll look at those statements that received, for instance, a larger amount of disagreement or discrepancy. And we try to understand why there was some disagreement there, rephrase the statements, and let's go through a second round. So this is going to probably happen in 2, let's say 3 iterations max. And so we hope to have the guidelines this year. We've also been working on this initiative called the Swiss Digital Pathology Initiative. You might have heard it this morning, but this is, again, a huge endeavor, which was initiated also from the side of Zurich. So Victor saw that this was an opportunity for Switzerland, that we could place ourselves on this roadmap for research infrastructure call, which is a call for funding, a very large one, where we had passed actually the first round. There was a letter written, all of the people that you're seeing here, all the names of these people, all the institutes who had participated in this first call gave our support in the first for the first letter. This went through and we were pushed into a second round. The second round was actually a very big application that needed to be submitted. I mean, it wasn't an enormous thing. Luckily, it was sort of like following the SNF guidelines. So if you've ever done an SNF, you know what to expect. And the idea there was really to be able to set standards for data in pathology and how these could be pooled together, if possible, where they could be queried, where they could be used for further research projects, where we could have access to basically scans that were being processed, let's say, not all scans from the diagnostic setting would go into this sort of research pool, but a select amount would go via this like research infrastructure into this pool. And we've worked together with the biomed IT nodes to handle this. We've worked with SPHN. We have letters of support from the Swiss biobanking platform, from everybody here. And this is all supported by the 5 medical faculties, which signed off saying that they would make a high priority for this research infrastructure if this was going through. And we would ideally like to set the stage here for ideally a national infrastructure, basically project for Switzerland. I'm sure you have a lot of questions about this. We don't have time to discuss it in detail now, but we have planned this paper where you can see all the names on this paper. These are all the applicants also who are on this project. And we've written basically a paper with our vision in there. We hope that this will be accepted shortly, and then we will send it to you for reading, and you'll see what our plans are then for the future. Mario, if you have a second, maybe you'd like to comment about your report.
Yes, thank you, Inti. So I reviewed the financial status of the SDiPath in the year 2021, and it was quite easy because there were no membership fees. So it was quite a nice task this time. So I audited the account statements, the accounting documents, and also the payment receipts. And the results were that everything was accounted for, basically. So the expenses were the account maintenance fees and the one publication that Inti just mentioned. Then received payments, none. So not a good busy year for us. But all payments were documented properly. So all good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your work and for looking into that, Mario.
No problem.
As Mario just mentioned, we did not have any membership fees, and this was because you might remember a couple of years ago, we had this SDiPath industry fair, and we thought it was only fair to cancel the membership fees for a couple of years. So this is again the case this year. So nobody's going to be receiving any bill for membership fees. I hope you all still agree with this. And now here comes our only point for voting. So we have quite a few new potential members who would like to be joining SDiPath, and probably instead of going one through one and then asking for a membership vote for each individual, what we thought would rather be the case is if anybody would actually disagree to this, to including these members into our consortium, then it would be the time to vote. And how would you vote? We are, because we're in a breakout room, technologically, we cannot put a poll. So what we were thinking to do is you should have access to your reaction buttons in your bar. So if you have a problem or you disagree, or if you have any sort of comment you would like to give at this moment, then please feel free to do that. I think that we'll probably do a vote of negation. So if you do not agree with participation or with having these potential new members participate in SDiPath, then please raise your hand and feel free to do this right now. Andrew, could you also have a look if you see any in case I missed something, or otherwise, I think it's okay to conclude, right, that these members are now new members in our group. So congratulations to everybody and welcome to SDiPath. And that's basically the process for the new members for this year. For upcoming events, we mentioned it a little bit earlier today as well. Andrew has organized, together with Elias Baumann, a student from Bern, this Coders Club. So if you're interested in coding and seeing how this looks like and how they do things behind the scenes, you have to have a look at these fantastic people who are joining this Coders Club. This is incredible. I wish I was a programmer at this point so I would understand what's going on. Just to be able to see everybody here. So I might sneak in for that. On April 30th, we have the Digital Pathology Slide Seminar. This is so awesome. SDiPath for the first time has been asked to prepare the so-called slide seminar, which occurs a few times a year. And I think we have a pretty good plan of what we would like to do. There might be one or two of you that we still have not reached out to, but we plan to do it. So we would like to involve many different people from different regions, have a focus on image analysis applications, people who are really using those tools live, like in actual diagnostic practice. So this will be really interesting, I think. So please join. This is on April 30th. It's a Saturday. It'll be something like from 10 o'clock to 5. Of course, we have the ECP in Basel, and I mentioned it earlier, but I'm the IT working group chair of ESP, and we've put together a fantastic joint program. There are actually many things going on. On the one hand, we have a joint session with the gyneco group, with the digestive disease group, and with the pathology in developing countries group. And for the first time, which logically makes sense, the computational pathology one-day symposium of Jeroen van der Laak is being done together with the IT working group. And we plan to do something like a live session. We hope that this will work out at the end of that day. And any abstracts that you are sending will go into the computational one-day symposium. We do not have an additional oral free presentation part of the program. It's going to be done together. So this makes sense. And of course, as Norman was saying earlier, we have ECDP coming up with a deadline, February 15th. And essentially, that's it from my side. Are there